You know what's great? Everyone's drive to accelerate their health and performance, to improve longevity of life through means of sharpening up their diet, onboarding strength training, and just generally being more active. It's great, it really is. But there's just one thing that's not quite there. A missing piece of the puzzle, if you will. And it's something that we do every fucking day, 25,000 times to be exact, on average. And if you haven't caught on about what I'm about to share with you, it's the importance of proper breathing mechanics. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Krebby, but I'm still alive, so I'm breathing fine. Well, I'm here to tell you that out of the 25,000 breaths that we take, on average, 20,000 of those 25,000 breaths are dysfunctional. That's a fucking lot of breaths that are shit. And so, I'm going to be talking about the importance of nasal breathing. And again, I know what you're thinking. Oh, fucking hell, another post on nasal breathing. Well, that's just how fucking important it is. You see, this is not the intended pathway for inhalation, exhalation. These bad boys are the intended pathways for inhalation, exhalation. And unfortunately, this is the path of least resistance. These are the path of most resistance, which is why it is so hard to do. And quite frankly, most of us don't do it. You know, if you look at it from a mitigating stress standpoint, and if you're like me, because I'm sure there are fucking lots of you who are, your mind easily wanders. You have a racing mind, and something like conventional methods of meditation sometimes just aren't enough to ground you. They piss you off more than they bring you back to surface level. Now, nasal breathing is one of the best ways to anchor your mind, because when you're focusing on nasal breathing, a pathway that has 2 to 3 times more resistance than your mouth, your mind isn't thinking about anything else, and you find yourself getting air in spaces that you never felt before. You feel more centered to the earth. Fuck me, I can't believe I just said that. I'm turning into a proper fucking hippie. You know, and if you think about it, when you mouth breathe, it's just quite a sympathetic driven mechanism with rapid inhalation and poor exhalation. So next time you read your emails and you get triggered, you're already in that state of fight or flight before you've even got pissed off. Looking at it from a breathing mechanics standpoint, nasal breathing is the surefire way to get full use of your diaphragm. And again, get air into spaces that mouth breathing essentially doesn't. The diaphragm ascends and descends in its zone of apposition quite nicely. And the reality is most of us don't need more air in, which is what mouth breathing promotes. We need less air in probably and more air out. From a biomechanics standpoint, looking at the axial skeleton with regards to rib cage, spine and pelvis. By the way, if you don't know the importance of the rib cage, you're missing out on one true chicken nugget right there. Someone who is mouth breathing dominant is someone who is more likely to have an elevated anterior rib cage. Again, they're more likely to have an extended spine, and they're more likely to have an anterior tilt of the pelvis. And unfortunately, most people are living in this stuck position. And I always go on about your worst position is your static position, and your best position is your next best position. And what mouth breathing encourages is more of a pseudo-inhaled state with very little posterior expansion. And this simplified makes us move like fucking shit. I could go on about this for the next 5 days, but you just have to realize that someone who is a mouth dominant breather is more likely to move like shit, feel like shit, and possibly even have inferior beliefs. So yeah, you can either carry on mindlessly flicking on social media and ignore everything I just fucking told you, or you can actually do something that's good for you, something that doesn't cost any money, something that doesn't require any time management, something that you should just be fucking doing. And like most things, it will be hard at the start, but like most things, more repetition, the easier it gets. Nasal breathing for the win, champ.